This is a Construction Tales brief safety topic. In this video, I'm going to discuss the history and evolution of the hard hat. Let's begin this video by investigating the early history of the hard hat. Each year, it is estimated that 6 million hard hats are sold in the United States. The very first head protection was released in 1889 in the form of a leather miner's hat. Just like the first steel-toe shoe, the military was the birthing place where head protection evolved into a hardened structure. The U.S. Navy commissioned E.D. Bullard Company with the task of creating a protective hat that resembles the World War II, quote, Brody or, quote, Doughboy helmet. Shipbuilders used to cover their hats with tar to harden them and create a layer of protection. Wearing a military helmet saved many soldiers from flying shrapnel and debris along with a hail of rapid-fired ammunition. A young lieutenant who served in the U.S. Army's cavalry first saw the effectiveness of the military helmet for soldiers during his time while serving in World War I. He was looking to use his wartime knowledge so that he may design an even better hard hat. By 1919, Edward W. Bullard returned home to the family business, known as E.D. Bullard Company, in San Francisco, and opted to develop a hard hat for civilians. Today, the main headquarters for E.D. Bullard Company is in Cynthiana, Kentucky. E.D. Bullard Company is now one of the leading manufacturers of personal protective equipment on a global scale. The family business was founded by the inventor's father, Edward D. Bullard, back in 1898. The family business started out as a manufacturer who created carbide lamps and other equipment for miners in California, Nevada, and Arizona. After returning from the war, Edward Jr. began developing ideas for affordable safety headgear that would effectively work to protect the miners. This new means of personal protective equipment was first known as the, quote, hard-boiled hat. This head protection was made out of heavy duck canvas and leather, and it was coated with shellac. This civilian hard hat version needed to be smaller and lighter than the military version due to miners working in small underground locations. One hat that was made of bakelite, which was an early form of plastic. The early hard-boiled hats were rather heavy and made out of steel. Edward Jr. had crafted and patented 13 different designs for his hard hat creations that were designed for different industry applications. The second hard hat patent in 1928 was the introduction of inner suspension that rests within the hard hat that was actually awarded by 1930. Hard hats were not required to be worn until the creation of the Hoover Dam, formerly known as Boulder Dam, back in 1931. Later on, the chief engineer of the Golden Gate Bridge required workers to wear hard hats during the erection of the bridge by 1933. The engineer was highly concerned over falling rivets that would serve as a hazard for workers during the bridge erection process. By 1938, the hard hats of that era were engineered to be lighter in weight since they were then made out of aluminum. The downside is that these hard hats are a natural conductor of electricity. By the 1940s, fiberglass hard hats were introduced to the market in an effort to combat high heat issues. The first thermoplastic hard hat was released by 1952. The hard hat composition began transitioning to polyethylene material by the 1960s. The MSA-V guard design, released in 1962, is still in use today. By 1982, E.D. Bullard Company introduced yet again a redesigned helmet that incorporated a non-slip ratchet suspension with a knob in the back for adjusting the snugness around the worker's dome. All safety helmets have been made out of plastic ever since the early 2000s. The more modern plastic hard hat became known as the 3000R. The 3000R was produced from polyethylene plastic. This latest round of technology produced a hard hat that is lightweight, durable, easy to mold, and non-conductive to electricity. This polyethylene plastic hard hat was even treated with an ultraviolet inhibitor. This extra safety feature helped the hats weather the outdoor work environment. A modern helmet today is sold at a price range between $15 to $20 each. Once released to be purchased, the original, quote, Bullard hard-boiled hat was listed for less than $3. When adjusted for modern inflation, the very first hard hat cost roughly $45. E.D. Bullard Company took on field feedback in an effort to redesign the hard hat even further. They went to work and designed the vented hard hat known as the S62 that allows for airflow inside the hard hat while still offering the best protection. This is what I have for you on the history of the hard hat. In the next video on hard hats, I'm going to discuss the industry standards that properly regulate the creation of the modern hard hat. This concludes this Construction Tales safety topic. Come back for more topics soon.